Today I want to draw your attention to the price dynamics of Ripple XRP. It's actually very interesting dynamics. Let's start perhaps with a medium term, small time frame, say 6 hours. So tell me, what exactly has been going on since that day on April 5th? So since the beginning of the month, we see that the price has been bouncing off the bottom. So it's already quite clear that something was happening right here, meaning the price couldn't be pushed any lower. We'll come back to this chart a little bit later on. And what's particularly interesting is that I drew a trend line. Of course, everyone draws a trend line based on their own rules. There is no perfect way. Like, it has to be this way and that's it, right? I look exclusively at some interesting lows. Take a look. This low formed right here. And since there was no definitive close or clear break below it, I used this exact point. Later on, we can see a clean bounce at this spot. So if you connect this point, you see, and this one, well, we need as many connections as possible, ideally. But there's no perfect rule here. I use this trend line exactly like this. But if you take a close look, we see a clean bounce from the trend line and a clean bounce from the 200 moving average. That's one of the key factors for me. And what is most interesting here, technically it looks very much like there was an ABC correction, that is one that is fully completed according to Elliott Wave theory, right? After this 5-wave move, we can clearly see there was also another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So according to Elliott Wave theory, a 5-wave ABC, a bounce from the trend line and the moving average. But that's not all. If we take a look at a much larger time frame, here I already have a daily chart open, right? And as you can see, there is significantly more detailed information available on this chart, just to be perfectly clear. So this is a huge long-term trend line starting all the way back in July of last year. And so far, we still haven't quite reached it yet. Now, a clear accumulation zone is very obvious. We are already sitting in a global accumulation zone. Look, this accumulation process has been going on since February, so it has been several months of steady accumulation for quite a long period of time now. Keep a close eye on on-chain analytics, because it often reveals if there's an inflow of liquidity, if there are active buyers, and if money is entering the market. Take a look here. We can already see a clear shift in the whale accumulation distribution index. As you can see, the index is currently sitting in the green zone. This suggests that there are actually quite a few more buyers active in the market right now. A larger amount of Ripple is actively being pulled out from exchanges for long-term holding. This is based on the latest monthly analytics, monthly. So we have just entered the favorable green zone territory. Now the weekly one, even more interesting. There's already aggressive accumulation for Ripple here. Aggressive. And that means with 100% certainty, it means they're very aggressively accumulating Ripple for holding. So this coin is for, well, it's specifically made for the future financial system and it will definitely be used. And its potential is truly colossal. So on-chain analytics aligns perfectly with my overall technical analysis. And these are exactly the confirmations I'm looking for. Whale mTracer is very useful for my analysis. Regarding the whale accumulation distribution index, I always check it carefully and then compare it, to see what the information is here. Money coming in, going out, and we see that there's aggressive accumulation building up, and we see the same thing on the chart. Let's go back to the 6-hour. There's clear accumulation here too. So throughout the entire week, we've been accumulating. And for 3 months, we've been accumulating more Ripple. Looking closely at the details within the smaller time frames, you can see a very strong potential for the beginning of a massive global move upwards across the market. Given this current setup, where do you honestly believe the price could go from here? I'll tell you my thoughts. In my personal opinion, I believe Ripple has several different targets, and I think it could, of course, go significantly higher than current levels. But for further confirmation, of course, I'd really like to see a decisive and clear breakout of the descending trend line and a breakout or exit from this entire accumulation zone. So here, we definitely need to break through this specific area and preferably move above the important long-term moving average indicator. Then that will be confirmation for a more global growth. Right now, looking at the current market situation with a high degree of probability, we'll likely see growth, well, approximately towards this specific price zone or consolidation area. Right where the heavy trading is happening. So if we analyze the potential percentages from the current price, I think we could quite easily see a very rapid 10% upward movement in a short period. Then we might even see it climb higher to reach the moving average, 10, 20%, I think easily. But there are more global targets here. Look, a double Fibonacci level of 61.8. So that's from this whole downward move and 161.8 from this correction. There's a very important level here at 1.92. So Ripple will likely reach this level, and we might see a correction after that. And if we successfully break through this key resistance level, that confirms we'll continue our upward momentum toward even higher price targets. I think we'll very likely see the price action move up to test the level of $2.25 as well. So MTracer gave me additional confirmation that it's definitely okay to buy right now. And following my strategy, I'll be opening a long position on Ripple to capitalize on this move. By the way, I share all of this in my private chat, all the setups. And Ripple is very interesting. I think we could definitely see exactly this kind of movement. So there's growth here. If you look at the percentages from the current price, if we take the current price specifically, yeah, up to the final target, 57%, well, you might say that's a lot, but it's actually nothing, considering the moves Ripple has made before. So this is the medium-term outlook, I'd say, for the strong growth potential for Ripple. And then looking further down the road, there could be much greater global growth. But you know, you can make money if we understand what's going to happen over the next week, 2 or 3. There is no need to plan for like half a year ahead. The market changes very quickly indeed, but I'm ready to take specifically this strategic move